I already read one of these. Hello everybody. Welcome to the start of a little reading vlog, which will most likely take place through all of July for the most part. As you saw in the beginning, I had my fiance pick out some books for me for my TBR, and one of them I already read, so I had him re-pick one of the books. So I have 4 books that he's picked out, and he basically picks things based off of if they look cool. So that works for me. Some of these books are books that I probably wouldn't have picked up right now, and I kind of like that. I tend to read like in the same vicinity, or I'll read books like I just bought just because like I am super interested in them right then and I forget about certain books. But yeah, anyways, so I'll be reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I've had this book for like 4 years, and I think it's a thriller mystery thing. I think it's more of actually a mystery. I've heard very mixed reviews on it. I don't really know exactly what it is. All it says on the back, it says, "The rules of Blackheath. Evelyn Hardcastle will be murdered at 11 p.m. There are 8 days and 8 witnesses for you to inhabit. We will only let you escape once you tell us the name of the killer. Understood? Then let's begin. Evelyn Hardcastle will die every day until Aidan Bishop can identify her killer and break the cycle. But every time the day begins again, Aidan wakes up in the body of a different guest, and some of his hosts are more helpful than others." Little mystery. That's kind of fun. I have never read a mystery before, I don't think, besides like classic Sherlock Holmes, so that's fun. Then we have Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long. This one, I remember I accidentally bought the second book to it on my 22nd birthday, and then I went back and I bought this a few months ago so I could actually start it. I'm scared for this one because the font is like ridiculously small. It is so tiny. This is definitely a fantasy, and the back, like the thing is so long. I'm gonna try to get the gist really quickly. It's about a girl named Hessa who's an I don't know how to say it. A battle-hardened priestess of the goddess of war with the power to turn an enemy's bones to dust with a scream. Okay. Sounds like a very war priestess fantasy. I don't really know much else that's fun for me. This one I'm excited about. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I've been wanting to read this so bad. And it's because one of the main characters is literally this octopus, and it's very much like a book that you would see like moms reading. I'm so intrigued by it. It's about like this woman who becomes friends with an octopus because she's a cleaning lady at an aquarium, and that sounds so like I feel like I'm going to be emotionally invested in this octopus, so I'm excited about that. And then finally, the replacement book he originally picked In the Dream House, which I already read like 2 or 3 months ago. But I have Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. This just came out. I literally just got this in the mail today from Book of the Month. So he saw this cover and he was like, "Oh, that looks cool." So when I told him to replace the book, he went straight for this. And I know this is an Antony and Cleopatra retelling. I don't know much else. I'm excited though, because apparently this is adult instead of like her other books which are young adult. But yeah, those are I guess those are David's picks for my books this month. So yeah, welcome to the start of the vlog. All right, it is like 2 o'clock on a Thursday, which means I have work at 4 o'clock, but I have a tiny bit of time before work that I can read. I'm gonna start Remarkably Bright Creatures. I'd said that's gonna be my first book because I'm the most interested in this one, and it gives me summer vibes, which is cute, and I'm going to the beach tomorrow, so I can bring this one with me then. But yeah, that's all. My little update starting this one. Hi everyone. It's been a while since I've updated. Yeah. I haven't been reading very much. My reading slump is kind of still here, but I'm about 165 pages, halfway-ish, through Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. And I don't really have that much to say, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, this is a bit of a I don't know. I'm like waiting until like the end to like figure out how I feel about this book because I just feel very neutral. Like right now I'm just like wanting more from it, but I'm not disliking it per se. I just want it to be better. I just want it to be like a little bit better. And I mean more like I want the writing to be a little better. I feel the writing is kind of generic at like the best. Like it's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with the writing. Like it's not bad writing. It's just very generic lit fic writing. It's something that like I feel like 30 to 40-year-old moms would read in their book club and then forget about 6 months later, or not even 6 months later, but like right after, and that's how I feel. So I guess, I mean, like obviously I'll keep reading. I'm putting like little notes in it too. Like there's like some good parts of it. I just want more. That's all. It is literally like 11 in the morning and I'm having such a rough fucking day. So I'm moving soon. I got a teaching assistant position at a university near me. So I'm moving soon. I had a meeting today in the city that I'm moving to. So I've just been like all around and like my printer wasn't working. And then I was driving on this bumpy road and my tire pressure lights were on and I was just stressed out. I've been stressed out and like something was wrong with my cat and I was really worried about her. I'm just having a time. So guess where we are? Barnes and Noble. Of course, I'm gonna let myself get like 2 books. This Barnes & Noble is like closing down for the remodel. So I'm just like everything's on sale. So it's like I'll get a little bit of something, get a coffee, try to calm down from my stress, try to have fun. But yeah, that's my day so far. Okay. I may or may not have bought 6 books instead of just 2. But the Barnes & Noble I went to is like closing down for remodeling, so everything's 50% off. So I was like, I had to, you know? All these books were like between $5 and $8-ish, so it's like, I had to, especially before I start grad school. Like, I think this is like one of my last little sprees before that. But I got Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, Zadie Smith, Swing Time, and Zadie Smith's NW. I've been wanting both of these for a really long time because I love White Teeth by Zadie Smith, so I kind of just went for it. I got this book called Hopscotch by Julio Cortazar. I don't know. But this cover was really cool, and this is like an older novel. It was published in the 60s. I've never really heard of it. It's about an Argentinian writer. I don't know much else besides that, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be a fun older book to read. I kind of like to mix it up between like reading very modern books and a little bit older. Or I say that I do, I try to. I got this book called The War for Gloria by Atticus Lish. I've never heard of this one either. I was kind of just walking around grabbing things that sounded interesting. And this one's about a guy named Corey whose mother is diagnosed with ALS and he has like a deadbeat dad. So it's like him trying to save his mom and also like hating on his dad, something like that. I don't know, family drama, we love it. And I hate the cover of this book. Don't judge. I didn't buy it for the cover. It's called Women in Sunlight. I like the spine. That's what caught me because it was like in there. But I've really been loving like books that take place in Italy. And ever since I've read Lizzie and Dante and hated it, I have been really wanting to read a book done in Italy, like set in Italy, that's done well. So this is another option for that. I just love books set in Italy. So yeah, my little haul. I feel a little bit better. I got a coffee. I also got a candle because these were also 50% off. It's the Black Currant and Red Wine Book Club Banter candle. So it smells really good. I love it. So yeah, I feel better now. All right, I've read to page 234 of Remarkably Bright Creatures, and I think I am finally starting to like it more. For a very large portion of this book, I've really not cared about like the characters that much. They've like kind of bored me, or I just like didn't really connect with them, but I don't know, slowly I'm starting to care about them much more. I'm starting to like see their growth, and I think that's why. especially the character Cameron. He has grown a lot in the last 75 pages or so. I'm really liking it for that reason. But yeah, the book is growing on me. Like, I'm starting to like it instead of just feeling meh about it, which is nice. I finally finished this book. I feel like I would give it a 3.5, maybe. I don't know. It was fine. I love the characters in this, but the plot was just so lacking, and it was so, like, ridiculously predictable. Like, I don't mind if I can predict, like, elements of a plot, but it wasn't even predictable. It was that like, the author was just telling us what was going to happen, and we were just reading of how it happened. Like, I already knew everything that was going to be revealed or happen by the end of the book because it was basically told to us throughout the book. And I really like that. I want to be more thoughtful when I'm reading. Like, I like to have to think about what's going on and what's going to happen. But I did really, really like the characters. They reminded me of, like, Frederick Bachman characters, which I love Frederick Bachman's books, specifically for his characters. So that was, like, the nice part about this, which is why I'm going to give it a 3.5 instead of a lower rating, because, like, the characters made it, for the most part, worth it. I just didn't, like, love it or anything. It was fine, you know? Next, I'm going to start, let me grab it. I'm going to start Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. And this one is the Antony and Cleopatra retelling. I don't know much more besides that, but this is my next book. Alright, so, quick little check-in. I read to page 91, and I got this little stain on my book. Anyways, I read to page 91 of Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, and so I went into this book with, like, zero expectations because I literally didn't know anything about it. Like, the only thing I really know about Chloe Gong is that she wrote These Violent Delights, which is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I know this one's Antony and Cleopatra, but I haven't read Antony and Cleopatra. I read, like, so many of Shakespeare's plays. I have not read that one. So I really had no expectations going in, but so far what I've learned is that this book is like an urban fantasy. There is a magic system that, why did I say it like that? Magic system where a person can jump, like their I guess, like, their aura, I forget what they call it in the book. It's basically like their mind, their aura, their soul, whatever, can jump from one body to another body, and then they can, like, open their eyes and, like, they're the same person in their minds, but they're now in another body, so they can jump between bodies. And in the city of Son Air, the one that they're at, it's illegal, but people do it anyways. That's, like, their magic system kind of thing. And we follow 3 characters for the most part so far. One is named August, then there's Kala, and then there's Anton. And August is the prince, but he wants to, I don't know if this is a spoiler, right? They introduce it very, very early on, so I'm gonna say it. So if you don't want to know anything about this book, just skip. But Prince August wants to kill his dad. Kala was the princess. She killed her parents, and then she escaped, but the palace says that she's dead, so she's, like, in hiding. She also wants to kill the king. So August seeks out Kala because he knows she's alive. They both agree, yes, we're gonna kill the king. Fine. Anton was August's best friend, and he hates everybody in the palace, including August. So he wants, I don't know exactly his intentions yet. It seems like he wants them all to die as well. So they all have very similar motives, except Anton is clearly the outsider there. It's just a lot. Like, there's a lot of exposition. Oh, and they're in this, Anton and Kala are, like, in the games, which is, like,
you get like a wristband and you have to kill all 87 other participants of the games. It's very Hunger Games, Red Rising-esque. And then I guess you get to be a part of like higher society because they gave you a bunch of money. Oh my gosh, this is a long ass update. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't really care too much about the characters at this point in time. I'm still trying to figure out like everyone's exact motives and like who these characters are and everything. It's just a lot. Like there was just so much information. It's very not info dumpy, but like bordering on info dumping in this book. I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts. I just finished reading that, like all that stuff. So it's like fresh in my brain. But yeah, very long reading update for this little bookie.
Welcome back. I look and sound like absolute garbage right now. I have not updated in a hot minute because I have been very busy working, going to a wedding, and then getting sick, aka right now. But a while ago, I did finish Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I kind of want to give it a 3 or 3.5, maybe 3.5, because I enjoyed it, but it was very predictable overall, and there was never a point where I felt like that connected to these characters. Like, I just didn't care that much, which is kind of unfortunate because there was like a lot of potential for me to care. Like, there was so many moments where I was like that close to being like, I'm really invested in this, and then I just never got there, which kind of blows. I definitely would read the next one. This book just came out though, so I'm sure that won't be for at least a year. She does publish pretty quickly, Chloe Gong, but I don't know. It was predictable. There's definitely some little plot holes in there. And I didn't like care. Like, I liked the characters and I found them like entertaining, but I wasn't like super invested. So it just like could have been elevated and could have been better. But like a 3.5, definitely not bad. I do recommend for like a cool steampunk urban fantasy vibe, like 90s fantasy dystopian vibe, which I almost never see. So it's a really cool setting. Like the setting was one of the coolest parts of this book, I would say. But yeah, so I finished that one, and I have been reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So this is a book that I've been like not dreading to read, but like it's been on my shelf for like 4 or 5 years, and I don't remember why I bought it. It's a mystery, and it's almost like the vibe of it. I don't know if this is gonna make sense to anybody, but there's like these games that like legacy games or like story games where like you are like reading cards basically and you're trying to figure out a mystery and it keeps building and building on itself as you learn more, and it's very like Sherlock Holmes, Agatha Christie vibes. It's like that. That is what this book is. It's really like a legacy game mixed with like Agatha Christie, and I'm liking it more than I was expecting to. I was kind of thinking I was gonna hate this. I am sorry, that's gross. I'm 200 pages into it, so almost halfway, and I'm liking it. Again, I wouldn't say I'm like in love with it, but I'm really enjoying it. Like, I really want to know what this mystery is. I want to solve it, and it's not even like the main mystery is not even the one that I want to like that I care about so much. There's like little sub mysteries and subplots that I just don't get. But basically this guy, his name is Aiden. He's like put into this manor, Blackheath, and he's like keeps being put into like these host bodies, but like his mind is still Aiden, mixed with the host body's mind, and he's trying to solve the murder of this woman named Evelyn, and it's like Groundhog Day as well. So like he goes through the whole day in that host body, like observing the day at Blackheath, and then he wakes up the next day in a new person's body and observes it from their point of view, and then he's just trying to solve this murder so that he's able to escape Blackheath. Otherwise, he'll be just trapped in this loop forever. So you're just trying to solve this mystery, basically. It's pretty good so far. It's very interesting. I like the vibes of it a lot, which is like, I don't know, it's like, it just reminds me of that of like legacy games, which I think are super fun. Like, I love those games. They're a lot like super interesting to me. So yeah, that's my sickly, gross, nasally update for you guys. I look crazy, but I just finished this. It took me a little while to read, like a week and change, I would say. It's pretty long. It's like 460 pages for like a mystery. I feel like that's super long. I think I want to rate it 3.75 because like I almost want to give it a 4, but I just don't feel like it's good, like quite good enough to be a 4 stars. But I did really like it. Like I really liked the beginning and I really liked the end. The middle was a bit slow. Like this is very much like a Groundhog Day kind of mystery where like the same day keeps happening over and over, but our main character Aiden is like in a different body every day, so like you see a different aspect of the day, but it is the same day over and over again. So in the middle I just felt like there was a big lull and I was getting a little bored because I just wanted to like get to the nitty-gritty end of the mystery. But when I got to the end, it was good. It was fast-paced, and overall the mystery was entertaining and I liked the vibes of the book itself. So it was pretty good, 3.75 maybe. And I think it was also like fun for me to read a different genre of books, and normally I just read the same types of things over and over again. So it was good, and I'm glad that I finally read it because it took me like 4 years of owning it to read it. But now I'm going to read our final book, Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long. I just read the back, so I have like a better idea of like what this book is about. Basically, it's about this girl or woman named Hessa, who is a priestess of the goddess of war, but she does something and she gets banished by the goddess, and then during her banishment, her village is burned to the ground. So she's like the last priestess or whatever. It's called Eeangi. I don't know how to pronounce that. Angai. I don't know, but she's the last of those, and apparently the gods and goddesses or whatever are diminishing or like going away, and there's a war between the old gods and the new gods, and she's trying to like win back their favor and is part of this war. It sounds really good to me. Not classic fantasy, but it sounds like a fantasy that like I would really like. I love a good war fantasy. But I'm gonna start this now, so that's cool. Hello. It has been like 2 weeks since I've updated because I haven't read for 2 weeks. But I'm finally reading Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long, and I'm 85 pages through, and I am liking it so far. I feel like I'm too early on to really like have much of an opinion, but I like the world and I like our main character, and I love a fantasy, and this one's very much like a gods-centered kind of religious fantasy without being like weird to read from. Like it's not like difficult to understand or anything, which I feel like sometimes happens with like religion-centered fantasies, at least for me. So far I'm liking it. I'm happy to be reading again. I've been doing a lot. My dog is like groaning over there. I moved, starting at a new school, left a job. So much has happened. But now I'm finally kind of settled and I can read again. Thank God. Hi. I never get to read anymore. I have been filming this video for 2 months. I'm almost done. I'm gonna try to finish this tonight because I'm in grad school now, but I finished all my work, which is shocking because usually I'm just up until like 1 a.m. doing work. When I read it, I am really liking it, but it's also like, I don't know, like it's good, but I think because I'm like forcing myself to read it on a TBR, it's like, I just don't want to. I won't lie, I will never do a TBR video like this ever again. I just can't. It just takes all the fun out of reading for me. I'm really not excited about any of the books, so it kind of blows.
But I did get new bookshelves because I moved, and look how pretty they are. They are so stunning. They're my pride and joy in life. So at least I have that. I did it. I finished it. It took me over a month to read this book, and I really feel unsure of how I feel about it. So the issue is the book is good, but it's not that good. Like, I felt like there was pacing issues, which made me not really want to pick it up. I also felt that there was like the plot was very convenient at times. It was very kind of just all over the place. But I also didn't love the characters in terms of like I didn't really feel that connected to them, which was kind of frustrating for me. But I thought it was a very creative book. I thought the ending was pretty cool. Like overall I feel like it's like a 3.25, so like it's not a bad book, it's just not a great book. And I feel like I never really talked about it in detail what this is about, because I really didn't understand what it was about for like so long. But it's very much like follows this woman named Hessa, who is a priestess for the goddess of war. And just to encapsulate the plot in general, basically Hessa's people get all slaughtered, and Hessa is like so confused and she doesn't understand why, and it's like her journey of figuring out what happened, which leads her to see this war between all of the gods. And there's like a mystery element of like we don't know who is right and who is like not right, and like what is really truly going on, and it takes a very long time to figure it out. So it was very compelling. Also, my hairs are like crazy right now, they're just like sticking up, but it's fine, everything's fine. But yeah, so it was very compelling. I just think it wasn't executed that great, but I did finish it, which means that sorry if you can hear all these cars, I live next to a really busy road now, but I finally finished all these books. And by all these books, I mean these 4 books from this TBR challenge, My Fiance Picks My TBR. And basically, recap, I thought all of these books were fine. I think I gave them all like a 3 to 4 stars, between 3 and 4 stars at the most. They were all fine. That's it. And what I've learned about myself in this little TBR video is that I really hate TBRs, and I really hate strict TBRs. I am very much a mood reader, so like I can make a mood TBR per month, but like I never follow them like super strictly. I kind of just vibes, and having a strict TBR like this made me just not want to read. And now I have to like get myself back into the habit of reading, because I haven't been reading because I haven't wanted to read these. But I did it, and these were all books that were on my physical TBR for most of them for a while, like these 3 for a while. Ma'am, thank you. And this one was new, but yeah, thank you for watching. This is a very long video. I feel like I have like so many clips to put together right now, but yeah, I made it through. It took me a long time. I'll see you guys when I want to read again.